gets that fed, that's what happens.
Well, Flawless isn't on Lee Sin, so this is a big problem already for SBENU. 2 of their 3 victories on the season were Flawless Lee Sin, so that's a problem. Cuvée starts to draw the Lissandra ban. The thing I want to say about Cuvée is I think he takes Marin's spot as the best Lissandra player. It's at least top lane Lissandra in Champions, so it's all about finding those other champions. If he finds 2 champions he can play on the level of Lissandra, this guy's in the chat for top 3 top laner.
Yeah, he's been really good. It's like you said earlier, his map awareness is just excellent. The way that he plays a lot of these team fights and the way that he communicates with his teammates.
I mean, laning, very good mechanically. Team fights, excellent. It's not really much more scope for improvement as a top laner. It's just champion pool, where Lissandra's by far his best. He's a decent poppy.
He's a great Ryze player.
That's true. For the longest time, pre-buffs he was playing it. Then it got buffed and he didn't get to play it very much. Cuvé's getting there, for sure. As Alistair's our first pick. A lot available, so let's see where SBENU want to go. They tried something. Now I'm hoping they'll try something else, but I hope it's not a poke comp.
I really hope it's not a poke comp, Papa Smithy. An early Quinn pick here would be quite unusual. Flawless decides that he wants to go for a more standard jungler right now, perhaps in the Elise, but that would be giving up the Graves to Ambition. And Ambition certainly has team fought well on that Graves, even if he hasn't been the most effectual counter jungler or ganker.
I mean, he got kill credit for a couple of things, but you're right, the last game was literally an afterthought when you think of Ambition's contribution to the game, apart from looking impressive not dying, but he flashes the Gragas that we will certainly be seeing next week, but for now, it's going to be some more power. This has probably been the second most impressive champion that Cuvé's played, and it's locked in. We're heavily expecting top lane bot. Well, I mean, we've got an Alistair, so it's going to be top lane bot.
It is. Graves also given over with the early Elise pick. Elise has not been so much of a priority in the last few days.
We didn't notice, but LeBlanc is banned away. Makes a lot of sense.
Not surprising at all. The Braum, once again, the early grab here from SBENU. They didn't want to show too much even after that Alistair was taken, and clearly they're confident on Secret. Kalista is going way down in priority, not even picked in the second round on blue side. Nuclear, of course, is a long-time Jinx main.
Nuclear played fine last game, but what's an Ashe to do when the rest of your team is so far behind?
And you've lost all your turrets, and there's a LeBlanc. So I think GP and Kalista, they will be going for these meta power picks right now.
And you think Sarsen will have to go for Victor just because they've got the gangplank. They need some wave clear coming from somewhere with their last pick, but Crown is also a wonderful Victor player, so might just see that take. Yep, locked in.
I think you should just take it away right now. And that is what they will do. And poor JJ on the Ezreal one more time. He really didn't have to do much in the last game. In fact, he had some pretty decent true shot barrages. And
how many times did we say the names Wraith, Core JJ, or Ambition last game? Ambition, a handful. I don't know if we ever talked about the bot lane at all. We mentioned Core JJ was playing, but if you asked me during the break, I wouldn't have known if it was Stitch or Core JJ.
Fair enough.
All right, SBENU, it's time for a Sarsen special. What you got? Oh, baby, please.
Yes, the Vel'Koz.
He's got wave clear with W max.
He does.
Please.
Yes.
Oh, he did it! Praise the Lord.
He's back to his old Sarsen ways. The red side last pick special of Sarsen's Vel'Koz. And
hooray.
Sarsen is a great Vel'Koz player. It has been a very weird pocket pick that he has that we've seen banned out last year, especially after he managed to kill Faker 3 times in lane with it. It was a weird Azir counter pick that he managed to make work.
Seems to be, well, a lot of people pigeonholed the Vel'Koz, but it's not really known about lane pressure apart from really pushing up the creeps a lot, so expecting W max Sarsen on this Vel'Koz to do some decent things.
I mean, they don't really have peel for the Vel'Koz.
And he also has teleport, which he had last game and got mercilessly murdered for.
Well, Crown is going to go for the Ghost this game. for that extra little bit of mobility to keep his DPS up in these team fights as he flirts around the edge of people's abilities with his relatively low-range Q. And that'll be pretty standard composition from Samsung, what we would have expected. Nice scaling into the late game, good wave clear, pretty good all around. And Sasin coming back out with the Vel'Koz with the TP, but might be hard for him to stay alive with Poppy in this game. And the backline threat, we'll see what he can do. Excited to see that once again. Game 2 coming right up. Welcome to game 2 of SBENU versus Samsung. SBENU still desperate to put their first match win on the board. It has been another rough season for them. They were, what, 1-17 in best of 3s in summer.
Winless in the first round robin last time out, and dangerously close to being winless once again.
Just such a surprise because the improvement that we saw was impressive, and also, there's the stun onto Wraith. He's probably going to flash this. Nope, just pulls and walks away. Rend not enough to take him out.
You're right. I didn't see it coming. I thought SBENU would take the next step, but sadly they took the back step.
I just don't get it. In Kespa Cup, they looked like they had really done a lot of work during the offseason, and they come into Champions, and they just look hapless as ever.
I mean, it's dangerous to speculate, but obviously they had a lot of issues sponsorship-wise towards the months after Kespa Cup, so who's to say what the story was and what the morale was in the squad, and can't expect the morale to be much better right now with, again, no match wins on the board.
Crown back on his comfort pick.
I mean, there's comfort on both sides in a great, fun way.
I'm really glad we got to see Sasin play the Vel'Koz again. It's always exciting to see what he can do with that ultimate.
Just sad it's in circumstances. A bit like when the last time we saw then Incredible Miracle last season. Frozen played Lux. It's kind of a love letter to his favorite champion and promptly lost on it. And kind of in the same circumstance here for Sasin in the last game of this round robin.
It is worth noting that we talk about him versus SKT and having that outstanding individual performance. They did actually lose that game.
That's a pretty safe bet when you're thinking of a SBENU game, though.
Yeah, the individual performance wasn't enough to carry them through to the win. Secret here, just doing a little bit of harassment. Lane swap, we haven't even talked about that yet. Great for Samsung as the jungle follow continues right on through in the early stage of this game. Hiding the Ezreal early, and if we see Samsung get their way, we'll see all those side lane outer turrets go down before that Ezreal actually has to deal with anybody.
Yep. Only seeing 2 people when he picks up Iceborne Gauntlet is usually happy times for the Ezreal.
We talk about Sasin's Vel'Koz quite a bit. He is 1-2 on the champion all time.
When was the win?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
I don't remember the win. I only remember the honorable losses that he had on that champion. Again, SBENU losses. So SBENU victories. Not a common sight. Yeah, the struggle streak for SBENU. There's not much more to say on that. A bit more balanced this time, but I think I agree with you in that the moment that Poppy hits the item threshold or gets that teleport with home guards, gets in the back line, I just don't see how you live through it if you're Sasin.
Yeah, this draft, I think, leaves a lot to be desired. The Elise just not the disengaged jungler that you would want with this low mobility backline that they're going to be struggling with.
Expecting to see Ezreal walk into lane against Soul with this tier. That's what the Rocks Tigers have been doing a lot. Prey loves to walk in against an underlevel top laner and farm up the tier. So if you're given that chance, definitely go for it if you're Samsung.
Yeah, they're going to get there pretty early on. Everything just about even here. Soul has an opportunity to take a few more CS. Cuvée zoned off the wave just a hair earlier. And now Core is here. So they send Secret away to get some wards into the enemy jungle, and Core will do his duty by zoning out this gangplank. Nobody really getting much of anything.
It's worth noting that the rushed item from Nuclear was the Boots of Swiftness. Oh boy.
Hello, Sasson forced the flash from the combo from Alistair. It's a nice pickup. Sasson will not be able to play as aggressively any longer. And open up a potential opportunity here for Ambition and Crown to all in with that burst once Victor hits level 6.
Just wanted to mention that Swiftness Boots was the rush, so neither AD carry has any effective combat stats just yet. Usually when we see Swiftness Boots on an AD carry, it means lots of counter lane swapping.
There's the Ghost actually being taken, and Crown just doing a fancy job, but he gets hit by the Cocoon anyway, maybe too fancy, and Sasson takes the first blood. He thought he could dodge that Cocoon. Greedy play from Crown, not using that flash.
And this is, I think, also a flow-on effect of people's inexperience playing against Velcos. Usually in those scenarios, you know exactly how much damage meta champion duos can put out in a gank at this time. Nobody's ever really sure about the damage output on a Velcos because it's so seldom seen and exploded as a result.
Yeah, Sasson definitely has the knowledge advantage in whatever matchups he's going to play as one of the very few professional Vel'Koz players.
I can't think there's been another player that's played more than one game of Vel'Koz mid.
Again, I'd have to look it up, but I am inclined to agree with you.
Maybe some Vel'Koz support in some regions, but mid.
Yeah, support definitely we've seen more of.
It always surprises me. It does a lot of damage. And I look at the AP ratios, and I'm always like, how does he do the damage? And I think it's to do with the passive. The passive seems to do a lot of damage.
The passive. Getting that true damage down is a huge part of his kit.
Well, in spite of losing some lane control with Crown dying in mid, they're still going to pick up the first dragon of the game.
No problem. Didn't actually disrupt the lane swap too much. Secret just there to watch the dragon fade away to Ash.
Only to be resurrected in 6 minutes.
It really is it's a Phoenix dragon. Turns to Ash and then comes back, flies in. So release another dragon from the dragon roost to be fed to these horrible champions. It's basically like bullfighting.
Oh, Particular needs to be careful. He's level 3.
Or is here, and so is Wraith. Flawless is in position to save his support player if they start to play too aggressively.
He is Ezreal, though.
Wow, got a nice cocoon. But it's
still Ezreal.
Still Ezreal, still gets the damage and pushes them further down into this lane.
It's actually really problem times for SBENU because they have the big advantage in terms of laning items, but they don't want to be trading farm. They really want to push it up hard, and we expect to see Samsung invest quite a bit here to try and freeze because they have to be this overextended. There's no way to deny Core JJ farm on this Ezreal.
But they will reverse the wave at the very least, and that means Flawless in the right place at the right time in this game, which has been actually a pretty big issue for him since he hit the professional scene, is not playing around a lot of these pushes, and that's something that you just have to be on a pro team to learn, when how to play out all these lane swaps, where to be in certain lane matchups when you have to be there to protect the backside as people push forward.
Just seems to play every jungler as if it's Lee Sin. And that seems to be why he struggles, is that he goes for plays where if you're Lee Sin, you have your safeguard back up, or if you have the kick to make a play work, they're fine. But he will go all in for something that we can conceptualize as best as a 1-for-1, but he'll just go for them, and 50% of the time he gets a 1-for-1, maybe even more than 50% of the time he gets nothing out of them, just gives over a death, and that's been a struggle.
Cube will just remove Soul.
Space Jam away.
But Secret actually there, so why he did that is he wanted to just leave. So he wanted to push Soul out so the wave would actually go into the turret, but Secret is there to get the freeze anyway. So support player in the right place. Meanwhile, Ambition has done a great job of just farming up in this game and thoroughly outclassing Flawless, because Flawless was spending a lot of time just protecting his dual lane on the push.
While we don't see the trade in mid, I mean, proof's in the pudding. Crown 30% HP, Sasson full, and that was with someone coming in to pressure the lane for Samsung. So Velko's working out still.
Yeah, it's been great in the laning phase for Saucin. It just comes down to the team fighting, and I would not want to play Vel'Koz against Cuvey's Poppy.
Here's what I'm going to say, Monty. Okay, there are differences between these two champions, clearly, but we're going to move. I mean, on the PBE, there's certainly mooted nerfs about removing the ability for Victor to just AoE down a wave at level 7 with some base damage adjustments. You just saw on the minimap 2 Ws from the Vel'Koz, and those minion waves explode. There's always going to be room for strong wave clearers in mid, and who's to say if Vel'Koz won't shoot up in priority when a champion that maybe slightly outclasses him in the wave clear area gets nerfed.
Oh, there's also the factor that Vel'Koz is going to be changed pretty dramatically soon.
Yay.
As I understand it, with that, what, mid-season mage rework or
I think
whatever.
I think that's actually months away, though, so.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be until the summer.
I believe in the Vel'Koz pick ban. It's coming.
I'm just saying there's going to be a pretty short time window for pro players to get enough practice on it to play it at the highest level.
And I guarantee they remove the ability to insta-clear waves, because no one's allowed to have that anymore.
Oh, well, another flash there. Wraith with the flash combo comes in. Saucin responds and backs away immediately. Good reflexes yet again. Wraith's been doing his best to help out Crown in this lane.
Top lane, we do see 20 CS advantage for Gangplank, and the only real receipt for that is Core JJ doing better than expected as Blue Ezreal. So, in a late game sense, you have to give the slight tilt there to Gangplank.
Healthy little gold lead for SBENU, and they keep just pressing this Victor in. Not something that we're really accustomed to seeing. Ambition now coming in for the gank, but Soul is not fooled whatsoever. Did have that ward in the river.
Ambition's in trouble.
And Ambition is overextended. No Elise, though. To land the cocoon was a little bit too far out of range.
Wave clear.
Well, it looks like we're just going to go for the late game this time, Papa Smithy. Blue Ezreal versus Gangplank. Who will be the better scaler?
Probably Gangplank.
Well, if he can actually get there to do any damage against Alistar, Blue Ezreal, and Poppy.
I feel like Gangplank, when he has control over, his team has control over objectives, super powerful in the late game. Gangplank, when he's trying to snipe people with like 3 aggressive barrels, not so effective. So maybe the Dragons will tell the story. If it's even keeling, I think everyone has a chance, but if Samsung can snowball that objective, it's going to be difficult for Soul to really boss a fight like we know Gangplank can do in the late game.
Dragon wards are good right now for SBENU. They have a strong amount of vision on the bottom side of the map. This GP has to be pretty careful, but they know that Graves is at red buff right now. And they will use that knowledge and that opportunity, take out these waves and try and get some more farm onto Soul while they can.
Cuvey's been very sad this game, just been pushed in or denied depending on where the minion wave's at. See SBENU trying to get an answering dragon.
Which they will get, considering that Samsung doesn't have any power, any place to make a play on the map right now. They are pushed back. The wards are quite clearly there, so this will pass into Flawless's hands.
We have seen not many late game slugfests today, but on the 5th time of asking, it looks like we're going to get a long one. In our 101st game of the season, Monty.
Wow.
We've already had over 100.
Over 100 games already. What a delight here. We'll see if we can eclipse last season's 217 game regular season.
Don't worry, we've worked in some holidays for you this time.
The 217 game season, I don't know if we're going to get that, considering we're only at 101 here, and if it ends the first round robin at 101, we have to have a lot of 3-game series in the second half.
How about some 5-game series in the finals? Oh.
A nice interrupt there. That's one thing about this matchup. Crown now has to flash, has to ghost, has to get out. Fate's Call will not find them. That's one thing we didn't actually mention about this matchup, Papa Smithy, is that Chaos Storm can actually interrupt the Vel'Koz ultimate.
Shouldn't really be in range to do that too often, though.
True.
That time, actually, Ghost Flash was very necessary to get away, so they would play a bit differently. Cuvey was in the mid lane. So once again, we're seeing waves pushed up and top and frozen in bot.
That's actually one of those things about Chaos Storm that's really easy to forget, is it does have that split-second interrupt on cast.
Well, it sounds like Victor versus Twisted Fate will be terrible times because TF also has good wave clear and then can port away. But if you get in there, usually with Flash, and interrupt the Destiny, solo kill potential obviously very high in that matchup. You're right. The interrupts, you know, in a world where silences almost don't exist in terms of mages, interrupt from that ability, very big, just like Cassidon's Q.
And Crown, we talked about the fact that perhaps he may not know this matchup very well. Well, he certainly knew that. Dumped the ult and then ran as soon as it was started in the channel. And there's the flash used by Soul to get out of Poppy's way.
It does amuse me that watching Sarsen, he is categorically better at instantly deleting minion waves than even Victor, the champion who will certainly be nerfed because he can do it so well. Goodbye, minion wave.
Well, SBENU also has had some pretty strong vision control this game. A lot of it, just getting those deep wards in has not been an issue for them. Playing around their strength. That's meant that Ambition has been pretty much seen this entire game. He cannot make a move on the map, and
to be fair, they didn't see him last game and he still didn't really make a move on the map.
fair. It's a very Ambition thing to do, but he has been farming Papa Smithy, and he does have a lot of money.
Hopefully Core JJ gets the memo that today only Swiftness boots are allowed. There's 9 Swifties. If he gets CDR boots, we'll be very sad.
Can't wait for that to be changed. Right there. Sidestepping the combo. And Ambition now just going to go toe-to-toe with Nuclear. Smoke Grenade's going to miss. He actually jumps right into the True Shot barrage. Ambition. Wow, that could have gone really badly if that True Shot barrage didn't land, but fortunately for Ambition it did. He also didn't use his flash yet again. Ambition has just been having nerves of steel with these flashes in this best of 3.
He just gives so few cares. There was no way he would win that fight, barring the downtown ult. It's just like, whatever, I got this.
Wow. Well, there we go. Ambition putting the first kill on the board for Samsung, but SBENU responds with a nice blue buff, and that's great on GP in the lane. Making sure that he can get as many parlays down and get even more money, and now the Chaos Storm is going to track Sasin back to his turret. They're doing their best to keep this turret up in the mid lane.
Still pretty telling that Sasin's been able to get as much chip damage as he had. Some of that, of course, is the kill that went down earlier onto Crown, but I just like how we get little nuggets about Velko's lane matchups as we see him once in a blue moon.
I enjoy it. He's going for Luden's Echo too, so more poke damage.
And more wave clear.
And more glorious wave clear. Late game is going to be very difficult for Samsung to actually siege against GP Vel'Koz. The instantaneous barrel and then Vel'Koz wave clear will not make it easy for Samsung to try and finish this game. Ambition going to come again and try and get onto Soul. There's a stun. He's going to eat the oranges immediately, drop the ultimate. He does get knocked up. Can they finish this kill off? And Soul is low, and Soul is dead. Ambition will score his second kill credit of the game.
Got Cuve with the tutorial on how to play Poppy in that engage. Flash to get the guaranteed stun on the small wall. Layered his CC perfectly. Another strong performance. Here's Crown. Ghost used.
And the Glacial Fissure knocks him up. Wraith is there to bail him out, but Nuclear also making it from the side. Wraith is ulting right now, but it's just not going to be... Oh, Flash. Will it be enough? No. Finished off with the
true
disintegration beam, and that's another nice little add-on. Of course, the true damage versus the Alistar ult.
Genius. Loving this Vel'Koz. Goodbye, wave.
Can't put mid damage down onto the tower. Ambition zoning the Vel'Koz out, but the tower damage matchup, which so rarely goes against Victor, is going against Crown in this game.
Well, not much else to say though. We had to get excited about wave clear because nothing else is happening.
Oh, come on, we just had a fight. How can you say that? They killed the GP in the top lane with a nice turret dive and then took the turret.
Not impressed.
Well, despite the turret advantage, well, Samsung now finally actually taking a gold lead, and they'll be also taking their second dragon while they have an opportunity. Poppy is really far pushed up actually in top lane. Secret's forced flash there from the combo courtesy of Wraith. And 2 frozen lanes now means that Samsung is just going to start grouping in mid and attempting to take this turret, but easier said than done.
It's going to require another very nice Poppy play, I think. The flank from the backside to instant kill this Vel'Koz. That's the only really way they have to pressure, because the wave control, we already mentioned some of the ways, but Runic Echo at least is going to help as well. There is literally wave clear for days on the side of SBENU.
They also have no Alistar ult to dive this. So
far so good though.
Wow, they're actually just going to try and go in. Cube has to go on the run and gets chunked out alongside Ambition. Sassen can't contain them from taking the turret. So
I mean, the issue is that if Alistar walks up, Sassen has so few options. He has to kite backwards. In that time, they're getting 3, 4 turret hits in. Its accumulation of pressure is enough to get Samsung what looked like a really tough nut to crack in that outer turret.
Yeah, they keep on taking these turrets. Cuvée with 2 down in the top side, so 4 the total. And in spite of all of that early turret damage going down, they can't convert it into the mid lane tower, as all the frozen waves on the side of the map meant an easy 5-man grouping there from Samsung. And with the threat of the flank, Sassen can't actually defend the turret and clear out that wave.
I want Vel'Koz from Sassen to be like GBM Xerath. I want it to be lose the game, but always have an amazing stat line.
That would be fantastic.
6-0-0, my team, you know how it is.
He's got both the kills on the team, so he's starting off that trend already, starting strong on the Vel'Koz.
I want to get your opinion on something, Monty. I was looking at an argument on Twitter about the greatest players who still have not made it to Worlds. I said GBM.
Ooh, oh, wow, all in there. Crown burning both of his summoners. Whoa, that was very close as Ambition pops in from the side. And here's the Hail Mary. True shot barrage, no. Sassen.
Oh, 3 minions though. That's 100 gold.
Sassen knew that was coming, and now they're going to try and go after Core. Core hops over the wall, does use both his summoners in response to get away from the gank.
So we get time for pause. Best players who have not made it to a Worlds.
See, Cacao made it last year, which is
why... you wouldn't really know if you watched the games.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have thought that IG actually had a jungler if I had watched those games. And I did. I did watch them, and I was confused.
So who is left? I said GBM. I think he deserves an argument. He was a top 3 mid laner. Coco as well. Top 3 mid laners in Korea who...
I think Coco is honestly the better answer.
Okay. Anyone in the region that stands out to you?
Not Korean players, not please.
Oh boy, that's gonna get us some hate. What about Korean players in other regions? Yeah. There's a few of those.
I'm trying to think about the Korean teams who didn't go to Worlds this past year and who was on there. CJ, obviously the standout team that wasn't able to attend. Oh, poor JJ actually getting all in right here. There's the GP ultimate, and Nuclear just going to hop over the wall, uses that flash. Wraith is now caught out in a 1v3. Ambition pops the smoke grenade, but Wraith is probably not going to be living too long. Somehow Vel'Koz dies. What? The crowd just walked up and killed him.
Okay. Well, that's happened a lot, but we didn't expect it in this matchup.
No, definitely not. Not with the advantage that Sassen had. So it's Crown is just here and just 100 zeros him. Okay.
All right then.
That was less thrilling than I had hoped.
Well, I mean, it's pretty binary. It's Victor, right? He used all his abilities.
You know who's an interesting player that actually has never been to Worlds and is an all-time great?
Who?
Ambition.
Really? Never Worlds?
No, the Blaze never went to Worlds. So Flame actually made it this past year because he was on LGD.
Yeah, that's fair.
Played the games, but when we think about some of the historically greatest mid laners, Ambition certainly among their number, and he never actually went to a world championship.
Captain Jack?
Captain Jack, I don't know. Ambition at points could be considered the best mid laner in Korea.
Captain Jack in 2012 was maybe the best AD carry in the world. Up there with Double Lift, I guess, in 2012. Around the time of the MLG Graves Lulu days.
Yeah, but Ambition was great after that fact too. And while Captain Jack was good,
Ambition's career is literally pre and post Faker, where he was pre Faker, up there in top 2 basically, and then post Faker, sadly, quickly fell down the echelons. Fair, good call. Relevant right now. He's got an outside chance of making it this year with how strong the Samsung squad started the year.
So I think for me, it's Ambition and Coco.
Where's the love for GBM? I know you love GBM. Come on.
I do, but he only got good last year, so.
He got pretty close to Worlds, too.
He did. One series away, and Victor starting to do quite a bit of damage at this point in time. Brown doing the Faker solo pushing and auto-attacking turrets game on the Victor, which we saw so much last year. Not going to get that, and Ambition cleans up the Vel'Koz. He did a lot of damage to Core, but Core managed to be a slippery little Ezreal and escape. Ambition goes for the turret dive, and the thing is, Ambition spent so much of this early game farming that he is really rich right now.
When you add the 3 kills as well.
Yeah, he's doing a lot more damage than you might expect ordinarily for a 26-minute Graves, because he simply sat in the jungle farming while Flawless was either covering for his lanes for a possible counter gank or hunting around for a gank himself.
I mean, Ambition was always good at late game team fights. He would randomly die in lane. He didn't always have lane pressure, but he was good at conceptualizing those team fights. One of the reasons that Samsung have been credited for their improvement is Ambition coming and helping their shot calling. And, you know, if he can opt into a champion like Graves who can win a fight on his own, or at least be a big contributor, and in this case also be a pseudo frontliner with the likes of the Sterix Gage and Amor Malmortius, suits him pretty happily. Basically passively farmed his jungle and scaled into a role that he only knows so well.
And we also got to see his jungle Nidalee, one of his all-time best champions back from his mid lane days.
I'm going to pause you again. He's 5-0 Nunu last season, so where's the Nunu, guys? Where's it at?
He was also a great Lee Sin last season.
That's true.
The Warrior Enchant Lee Sin, so.
When we got treated to so much watch Cinderhulk Lee Sin.
Ambition plays the jungle his own way. And the chase beginning right now. Flawless goes up, but he also must come down and fail his flash while Core kills him.
We didn't need to do that, but added some aplomb to the situation.
There was such a small percentage chance of him making out of that anyway. I suppose he had to try.
This is like the world's most one-sided even game, because it feels like not much has happened, but somehow Samsung is 6,000 gold ahead.
Yeah. And Crown just going to flash the Glacial Fissure. GP ult is misplaced and will do nothing. And there we go. We can see the Vel'Koz come in, but in the end, the Smite will save the day. Baron taken, Secret now ulted up. Ambition going to finish this one off, and Cuvee actually gets the final kill there with the help of his Iceborne Gauntlet. Flash actually, he's going on to Sasin. A little bit too early. Ambition now on the run away from the beam, but Sasin has to get out of there as the Mystic Shot comes over the wall, and here's the pressure and the push in for the inhibitor.
Might not be the game just yet with Ambition forced to run away, but going to be the mid lane inhibitor. They still have Alistar. He's still got Unbreakable Will.
Yes, Flawless is still repelling with nowhere to go. So there's a death. Cuvee finishing him off with a ranged auto attack from Poppy, getting that Iceborne Gauntlet proc once again. Going in one more time, forces yet another flash. Cuvee's been really good at closing this game. The amount of summoners he has forced in like the last 45 seconds has been enormous.
Increasingly, I think you just need to lead with the start of that sentence, Monty. Cuvee's been really good.
Well, they banned Poppy in the first game, SBENU. They didn't want him to have it in there. He's making a strong case why. He basically chased everybody down in that little engagement.
I mean, Lissandra and Poppy, this guy is S tier at. We're not 100% sure of his other champions. We haven't seen much of them. We're seeing a replay of this fight. Nice moves from Crown.
Man, that GP ult was just bad.
Well, especially because they could have just been getting it onto the members taking Baron, but instead, no. Oh, here we go.
Wow, I didn't even see that.
Well,
They had the ward there to see it, but the fact they also got Sasson damaged in that was a nice little bonus.
we didn't see a replay of QV's wall stun at the top in an earlier kill, but didn't quite get it here, but very, very on point nonetheless. Had to cancel the ult.
Yeah, did cancel it because Core was popping forward there with the Arcane Shift Mystic shot, so didn't want to become a casualty of the Ezreal, even though he got so close to killing Ambition.
2 inhibitors down, so the pressure game's on and top. Seems inevitable at this point.
2 Baroned up super minion waves, and this should be the end of this game, unless SBENU can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
I think it's going to have to be a couple of rabbits at this point.
Yeah, I think more than one rabbit may be necessary, and the final inhibitor, the target now from Samsung, will take it down. Ooh, Secret, so close to dying, and now
That's a lot of minions.
the final push, and Vel'Koz will just get one-shotted by Victor again before I can even say anything, and now the Chaos Storm swirling around in the fountain. Poppy ult goes through just to make sure there isn't any counterplay. Flawless is going to come in for one last hurrah, and that's the game for Samsung. It started out